What you're seeing here is some stuff I've made with this add-on I've just developed called Proxy Body. What the add-on does is it creates optimized proxy meshes from your 3D model for faster and smoother rigid body simulations. It then reduces in complexity, it improves playback performance, makes it easier to achieve great high-poly real-time simulations with a more efficient workflow. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use it and how to make something cool with it. So right now I have a model of a banana and an apple. Let's start with the banana, right? So right here, you already have the proxy slider. All you do is just slide it in until you see that you get a good, that most relates to the original mesh, but a very low poly one. So like that, at this point, is pretty good. This factor, you should only use it when you have an object which includes lots of mesh islands inside it. For example, a car with the body and then the wheels. Yeah. So right now I have a pretty good proxy mesh, and I'm going to apply pressing this button. After that, I'm going to place this object by pressing this array button, and I'm going to use this these arrows to place it. And you can see in this number how many proxies this arrangement has. And you can also use these to decide how many on each axis. And then you can also use these wheels to kind of randomize the rotation. But I wouldn't use those. I would use then what I'll tell you next. So I'm just gonna use this and make it 75. That's cool. Move this to the middle, a little bit up, and then I apply the placement. So you can see now each one of these is a single proxy. And then this menu pops up. You can open it, and you can use it to either randomize the location or the rotation, which is what we're going to use now. Just like that. And then what you have to do is basically click here, set up simulation, and now you have a rigid body ready simulation with these. Okay, what we can do here as well is add a ground collider as a passive, and we can simply do that by pressing here and then pressing OK, and then it's all set for the rigid body. Don't need to worry about anything else. Nice thing you can do here is even after setting up the simulation, you can still set a random rotation on the first frame. Okay, so you will do this, and you now have all the bananas here placed. And now let's say you want to apply this position as the first frame. You can press this apply position. Now the first frame, they will be on that position. Now let's do this with the apple. We can again use the Proxify slider to something that really relates to the original mesh, the shape. And then you apply it. You rate again, just like that, and let's make it 60 is good. Let's apply the placement, and then randomize it. Let's close the menu and setting up the simulation, and then you can play it, and there you go. And these make it so what are actually being simulated is the proxies, not the actual high quality mesh. If I go here on random mode, that you can see, right? What are actually being simulated are the proxy mesh we generated with the add-on. So if we click here on see proxies, we can see the selected proxy, the selected object proxies, and then if we press see all proxies, we see every single one. Now if you want to go back to this on the steps on each object, you can go here previous step, and you can do all the previous steps, and if you don't want it to do it, you can just do Control Z. All right, let's uncheck here. Let's do this, and now I want to apply every single position of every proxy, not just this or just that. I want to apply every single thing. I will click apply every position. Now let's say I don't want them to be sliding as much or something like that. We have here every value needed for the simulation. We can crank up the friction in here and also in the ground friction. So now they're not sliding as much. And then here on the bottom where it says active set, you can see how many proxies each active set has. And you can also see the total proxies. In this case, we have 135 objects being simulated at the same time in real time as well. So right now I'm going to reset everything. And I'm going to make a much more interesting effect. They're all falling, which is not supposed to happen. I'm going here on the roll rigid body settings, and I'm going to turn off gravity. So now if you play, you can see they're kind of exploding because on the first frame, they're kind of intersecting. So this by itself kind of makes a cool effect. No gravity effect. This is pretty cool. But what I wanted to do really is add a force field and then make it go inward, okay? I'm just going to move them relatively to the middle of them, so they go straight right in and play this, and there you go. Now they're actually going pretty nicely. I'm going to apply every single position, and then what I'm going to do is add another force field called turbulence, and again I'm going to move it to the middle, and I'm going to add it pretty much strength, a high strength to the middle, and play the animation, and we can make like a very cool effect. This is probably too much for the turbulence, not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it lower. The link for the add-on is in the description. You use GeoNodes as a discount code. It's that easy. Follow for more.